Brian, and we welcome you to Rupp Arena and the Southeast region here in Lexington. And the first of 4 important games today in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The College of Charleston Cougars against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons of the ACC. And the winner of this game will take on the survivor of Kansas and Tennessee Chattanooga, which follows this contest. And 2 games follow tonight, including #1 seeded Purdue and, of course, the big one later on, Providence against Alabama. And hello again, I'm Dick Stockton along with Al McGuire, and you can call them the Cinderellas, you can call them the darlings or the sweethearts, but Al, everyone's talking about the College of Charleston Cougars, who have the nation's longest winning streak, 16 games, and they haven't even been in the conference long enough to have an automatic bid, and they're led by the Trans-America Athletic Conference Player of the Year, Marion Busby, who's an exciting player to watch.
Well, I tell you about him, you can't play him one-on-one. He neutralizes all defensive pressures, but today he has to have 35 minutes of athletic excellence.
Let's talk about Wake Forest. Now, this team has been a giant killer in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They have beaten Duke twice this year. They beat North Carolina once. Wake Forest is a strong team. People think that you can advance. They have a 3-guard attack, but the head man is Randolph Childress, who is one of the top players in the conference this year.
Randolph has to hit from cannon range, but he's a rare type of person that's a point guard that can score and also dish. He gave 10 assists in the overtime loss last week to North Carolina.
Now, College of Charleston has pulled some big upsets this year. They beat Alabama by 22. They knocked off Penn State and UNC Charlotte. But now they're going up against Wake Forest, a team that has dreams of moving into the regional semis as they did last year. How do you think this game would go?
I think what's going to happen is that the Demons are going to come out and try to turn them over and trying to get a lead, get an early knockout punch. If they don't get the early knockout punch, then they have to call timeout and play off the shoulder. It's very, very important that you throw or trash your game plan if it's not working early.
All right, and here are the starting lineups for the first game of the 4 here for College of Charleston. Up front, it's STACY Harris, Ken Ward, Thaddeous Delaney is the center, and Dean Dunbar and Marion Busby, who Al talked about at guard. They have 1 senior, and that is Dean Dunbar. For Wake Forest, they have 3 seniors starting. Trelawney Owens is one of them. Tim Duncan, a good big man who is number 21 starting at center, and the 3 guards, Mark BLUCAS, Randolph Childress, and Charlie Harrison. In the middle of that huddle is Dave Odom, who is the ACC Coach of the Year and a 60% winning percentage at Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Dave Odom, there he is, who has led Wake Forest to this tournament. And his opposite number, an interesting story, is John Kress. In his 15th year at the school, was a former assistant under Lou Carnesecca, both at St. John's and with the Nets in the pro leagues for 14 years.
He's a walking soundbite, and he's a big fish in a small pond.
And he may be a big fish in a bigger pond if he goes on to Tennessee. He was interviewed yesterday. The officials today, Jody Sylvester, Frank Bassoni, and Billy John Quinto, are working today's first game. So Wake Forest, the higher seed. They are seeded 5th. They'll be in white. And the College of Charleston Cougars, they'll be in maroon. They're seeded number 12 and set to jump. It'll be Tim Duncan against Thaddeous Delaney. Sit back and enjoy March Madness as we bring you the action from Lexington. And it's controlled by the Cougars. And Marion Busby is the point guard. And their leading scorer, averaging nearly 17 a game.
Starting man-to-man, Wake.
Air ball thrown up by Delaney. And the rebound inside by Duncan. Here is Trelawney Owens. And Wake Forest fails on the inside shot by Owens. Still no score. Here's Busby, a 3. And the Cougars of Charleston lead it 3-0. They've only been in Division III, Division I for a couple of years, not eligible for postseason play. They have not played since February 28th, Al.
Let me tell you about Busby. He's the kid with the golden smile because he has a gold tooth, and he plays to the crowd. He's very confident.
They give Duncan the shot, and the rebound inside by Ken Ward. Good position. STACY Harris knifing his way in.
That was an excellent move by Harris that time, Dick.
Harrison had it and lost it into the hands of STACY Harris. A gone by, 3-0 in favor of the Cougars of Charleston. Busby's three-pointer, the only scoring.
Best thing in the world is going to happen to College of Charleston. Alley-oop.
And a foul inside. Duncan defending inside on the alley-oop to Thaddeous Delaney, and it's Duncan's first foul.
Here's the alley-oop underneath there. Number 21 turns his head. It's Tim Duncan. They call him Timmy because he's a freshman. That's a no-no. Instead of turning your head, you should back up so you can see the ball and your man.
College of Charleston was in the NAIA, and they were the national champions back in '83 under John Kress. Here is Thaddeous Delaney, a freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. Most of the players on the Cougars are homegrown.
Real physical, Dick, and he's really a man playing among boys at the College of Charleston.
But keep in mind that since he moved into the starting lineup, Charleston's 15-0. They have not lost since he's been installed as the starting center.
Charleston playing man-to-man.
That's Harrison, who's playing in his 4th straight NCAA tournament. BLUCAS gets it into Trelawney Owens. They collapsed around him. A three-point attempt is missed outside by BLUCAS. 4-0 in favor of the College of Charleston. Here's Stacey Harris, pulls up, and a blocking foul is called against Wake Forest, and it'll be against Mark BLUCAS.
What they got to do, Wake Forest, the Demons, they've got to get the ball in the Childress' hands. He has to get out of the blocks. He has to score to give him the confidence. Now watch him move underneath. Good call by the referee. He moved.
At the line, Stacey Harris for 2.
Is it possible that Wake Forest has the early game jitters in this one, Alan?
I think there's more pressure on Wake Forest than this on the College of Charleston. Charleston's just happy to be here. They were politicking to get into the NIT. They had no thought in the world, even though their record deserves for them to be here, but there's no way there should be 2 teams from this conference in here.
But they are, Central Florida being the other team. And you're right, John Kress called his former coach, Louis Carnesecca, after the regular season ended. He says, can you help me? Can you talk to the NIT committee? We'd love to play in the Garden. But here they are, and I'm sure they're delighted to be here.
As you said earlier, that the longest win streak in the country, 16 in a row. Here's the man that got a score to get him going.
And Childress is fouled. He got good low post position inside. And that will be the first foul of the game against College of Charleston. And it's against Dunbar.
Yeah. Dunbar gave him too much room up front. He's playing completely in back of him. Childress tried to make that move before he got the handle of the ball.
Harrison gets it into Owens. Again, they collapse. 3 men around him, and they find BLUCAS inside. Tried the extra pass to Duncan, and he loses it out of bounds. I'll tell you what, they are collapsing around Owens, and it looks like Charleston wants to stop Trelawney Owens, who comes in averaging 16 a game.
Lucas made a mistake. He should have put it on the glass because Duncan was going for rebound position. With a bounce pass in tight, interior passing to your centers is extremely difficult.
Stacey Harris, one-on-one, banks it in against BLUCAS, and it is now 7-0, and Wake Forest has yet to get a point in 5 possessions of this game.
They're close enough to the first commercial timeout, so they'll wait for it. Next dead ball will be commercial timeout.
More than 3 minutes gone by, and Wake Forest has a big goose egg on the board. Here's BLUCAS. Duncan follows the basket. No. A foul before the basket. But Wake Forest has a chance to get their first points, and Tim Duncan will go to the free throw line. Personal foul will be against Delaney.
I can't understand. Okay. Basket was no good. The whistle came before the shot.
So still Wake Forest has the ball, still no points with 16:40 remaining in the first half. Slicing in Childress has his shot blocked. And that was Thaddeous Delaney with the block. And here is a 4-on-3 for the Cougars. And they're going to call the foul on Randolph Childress. And off the start of this game, Dave Oden's got to be awfully nervous the way the Cougars have shown tremendous poise.
Randolph Childress is first team third.
Third team foul, and the first against Childress. It's 7-0 in favor of the College of Charleston. Who would have thunk it? And now it is 9-0 as Delaney gets the basket with 16 and a half remaining.
Delaney's too physical for Duncan. Timmy Duncan is only still 17 years of age.
Well, this team is for real. They may not win, but they're for real. They're showing Wake Forest that they have come out strong, and this is the kind of team that beat Alabama by 22. They go low to Duncan, and finally Wake Forest scores. After 4 minutes, Wake Forest finally gets on the board, and the score is 9-2. There you see 1 for 6 from the field.
One of the Achilles heels of the Cougars is they can't play defensive pivot down low. They're a small team.
Duncan blocked Delaney's first effort, but he stuck with it, and Thaddeous Delaney now with 5 points to lead the Cougars. Charleston leads 11-2.
Wake might have to go to a zone.
Stolen by Harris. Tell you, this is a tenacious team defensively. And there, with the 3 missing, is Busby. He hit one earlier. Owens clears it.
Busby in high school averaged 47 points a game in his senior year.
And Delaney went to Charleston because Busby, his high school teammate, went there. They were state champions in Columbia. Trelawney Owens. Boy, he's picked up a lot of weight since last year. And there is a 3-point attempt thrown up wildly by Childress, and the follow-up by Duncan is good. So Duncan has all 4 Wake Forest points. They trail by 7.
The weakness I see in the Cougars, again, is their offensive rebound, and they're allowing too many putbacks. The putbacks aren't going in, but as the game wears on, I think Wake will start putting a lot of points on the board through putbacks.
Well, you're right. Rebounding has been a problem for College of Charleston. They do not have a big front line with Delaney at 6'8" is the tallest. So we'll have a foul, and we'll be back in a moment.
His second, team third. Timeout on the board.
Trans-America Athletic Conference means business. They told their teams to strengthen their schedule. The 16-game winning streak, longest in NCAA current MARC going, and right now we have some substitutions in the game. Dean Dunbar, the starting off guard, picked up a second foul, so he's come out of the game. Marcus Woods and Russell Palmer have come in off the bench for the College of Charleston. Wake Forest has made a change as well. Travis Banks has come in for Charlie Harrison. And also Rusty LaRue has checked in as well. Here we are in Lexington, first of 4 games, and a bit of a stunner for Wake Forest off the top. 11-4 in favor of the College of Charleston Cougars.
One of the things you got to watch now, can Woods play defense on Childress the way that Dunbar did? He's uptight. Let's see what he does.
Woods is a defensive ace, and a 5-second violation called against Randolph Childress, so Woods does a good job defending in the first sequence, and Odom screaming at his bench right now. That's the 4th turnover for Wake Forest.
Everything that could go wrong in the first 5.5 minutes has gone wrong. Murphy's Law.
Ward, good move in the baseline. He gets another chance, and he's fouled. Tell you one thing about College of Charleston, Al, they may be undersized, but they are relentless inside, going after the second and third shots.
Ward's actually very quiet type ball play. You never see any facial emotion on him. He's kind of stoic type person, but he can play off the glass.
Trelawney Owens, who went out of the game, now has to come back because Tim Duncan, who is the 6'10" freshman center, has picked up his second personal foul.
And this is what I thought they should have went to earlier. Here's the zone.
Here's Ward. It's the jumper. Ken Ward, averaging 11 a game, a junior from Montgomery, Alabama. Normally not a scorer. He's the blue-collar rebounder. But Ward right now with 2 points in the game, and 4 of the starting 5 for the Cougars have scored in this game.
They got to get their 3-guard offense in motion. They're trying to pound it inside too much out of the gate here, Wake Forest.
The only points for the Demon Deacons are from Tim Duncan with 4, and he's on the bench right now with 2 personals. Rusty LaRue is number 10, and he's teamed in the backcourt with Randolph Childress. Up front, it's Banks, Owens, and BLUCAS. Another turnover. That's the 5th of the game for the Demon Deacons. Tremendous, tenacious defense by the College of Charleston, who came in with a 24-3 record.
And they're fortunate to only be down by 9 points. And they're fortunate there's so much time left in the game for them to get back into it.
Barely 7 minutes gone by. And there's another 3 for Marion Busby, his second 3-point basket of the game. He led the team with 66 3-point baskets. In the trap, they go into Banks. And Scooter Banks can't see it go. Gets another shot at it. He lost it.
Busby that time did a little bit of trashing onto Childress. I think you trashed a little bit too soon, son.
Wake Forest is now with 5 turnovers, 2 for 9 from the field. And here's Busby, missed this time, and the rebound pulled down by LARUE. 16-4, the College of Charleston is in front. Wake Forest has never had the lead in this game. And a whistle, and they're going to call a foul against the Cougars, and the foul will be against Marcus Woods.
That could be a 3-shot foul from out there.
At the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select one Chevrolet player of the game. In conjunction with the award, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Dean Dunbar is going to come back in the game. That's John Kress, who was a walk-on originally at St. John's and actually played on the last losing team St. John's had until this season. Look at the shooting, 2 for 9 for Wake Forest.
Coach Oldham was trying to tell the referees that, hey, my man was shooting from 3-point land. He's supposed to get 3 foul shots there. Hey, you got to dribble and call that 5 count again on you.
Patrick King in the game, so we see a lot of the Cougars bench in the lineup right now. They're leading 16-4. Good time to give the starters a blow.
Yep. I also, you know, on Wake Forest, number 10, LARUE, he was the quarterback, I believe, in their football team, wasn't he, Dick?
Yes, he was. In fact, who would have thought that the #1 quarterback from college football in the ACC would not be Charlie Ward in this tournament, but Rusty LARUE, who started 5 games for Wake Forest.
I think they only won about 3, but he's the quarterback.
Hey, he's the quarterback, right? Wake Forest only 4 points in 15 possessions thus far. Here's Charlie Harrison. Not normally a shooter, but he's the only other player other than Tim Duncan to score for Wake right now. A 10-point lead for Charleston.
I really think Childress should have been taken out. He just settle him down. He's too good of a ball player to play the way he was playing.
Here's Dunbar. He's giving up his dribble. They move the ball well to the Cougars.
Yes, excellent. Excellent.
And that'll be a player control foul, offensive foul against Russell Palmer. And each team has 14 fouls. So far, it's a big surprise.
You are watching the NCAA Basketball Championship on CBS.
College of Charleston stunning Wake Forest by 10 points right now. And as we look at the shooting percentages, you'd have to think, looking at these numbers, that maybe it's a little closer than Charleston would like, even though they have the lead.
They have a 10-point lead. It's 50% going against 30%. And the big thing is that they took Childress out. They talked to him. He's back in now. Let's keep our eye on him this time down the court. That's number 22. He has the ball right now, and Mr. Wood is covering him.
20 points a game for Childress, but he has not scored in this game. Wake Forest has turned it over 6 times already. They go into Trelawney Owens. Owens short with a turnaround inside Harrison, and he's fouled. Charlie Harrison and Childress, both from the Washington, D.C. area, played on the same AAU team when they were in the 6th grade, so their friendship goes back a long way. And the foul is on Delaney. So Thaddeous Delaney, the big freshman center now, has 2 personal fouls. Duncan, the freshman big man for Wake Forest, also has 2. And we haven't seen him for a while, and now he gets off the bench. He'll come back.
Coming in the lineup is number 25, Russell Palmer. Coming out, number 4, Thaddeous Delaney.
Into the game is Russell Palmer, and he gives Delaney a blood break, where Delaney goes out with 2 personal fouls.
Harrison's a solid ball player, very few turnovers. He picks up a lot of garbage around the basket.
Coming out, number 34, Travis.
That's Tim Duncan, who comes back. Remember, he's playing with 2 fouls, and going out of the game is Scooter Banks. This is not a deep Wake Forest team. They go about 8 men, 7, and Stan King comes in as a banger. And driving in, Marion Busby misses, and the follow-up, no basket. There's a foul before the hoop, and an 8-point Charleston lead. First-round action here in the NCAA Championship, and the winner of this game will face the survivor of Kansas and the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
Number 42,
Rodney Connor has come in the game. There's an interesting story with Connor, who only played in 3 games, suffered a severed tendon in his left thumb. Rodney Connor was averaging nearly 20 points a game. That was BLUCAS, however.
1-2-2 zone, 2-3.
And the ball taken away by Owens from Rodney Connor. Charlie Harrison drives baseline, in and out by Tim Duncan. And it's going to be Charleston's ball.
The shots are there for the Demons. They're just not dropping. Charleston's playing decent defense, but it's one of their soft spots is defense in the pivot down low.
On the rebound is Duncan. And here is Wake Forest. They're not normally a running team, and they turn it over again for the 7th time.
Just don't have a wake-up call this morning. And I'm not trying to favor Wake Forest, but I've never seen the team not in sync.
I'm really surprised. This team has beaten Duke twice this year in Carolina, and trying to make a schoolyard play was Patrick King. Didn't quite make it. Tried to knock the ball in off a Wake Forest leg.
Didn't throw the ball hard enough so it would rebound out of bounds.
10 minutes to go, halfway through this opening stanza. College of Charleston leading by 8. They've led all the way. They want to get Trelawney Owens going, but he can't hit that 10-footer off the glass. Wake Forest is 3 for 13 from the field.
I think they got to change their game plan a little bit and go to the outside and stop trying to pound in so much, even though they have the advantage inside. The inside guys just aren't finalizing.
And they're going to foul the other way. So College of Charleston committing the foul.
It is now 1-on-1. That's the 7th foul.
It's on Connor, Rodney Connor, who is the freshman from Orangeburg, North Carolina, who was averaging 20 a game when he got hurt after 3 games and seeing his first action since the first 3 games of the season. And it'll be 1-and-1 for Trelawney Owens at the line.
This young man made the 3rd team, all ACC. He's underrated as a forward.
He really stepped up, Al, when Rodney Rogers left the club, and he's averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds. That's STACY Harris coming back in for the Cougars. And coming out of the game is Patrick King. And coming back will be Thaddeous Delaney. So Delaney and Duncan, the 2 centers who have 2 fouls each, will be coming back in. 1 out of 2. For Trelawney Owens. Wake Forest has scored only 9 points in 10.5 minutes of this first half.
And they can't pressure because of this fella. This fella neutralizes all pressures. Busby's an excellent ball handler and bury you from 3-point.
Great fake by Ward. He gets his offensive rebound and a blind turnaround. I tell you, Ward is 6'7", and he went up against Duncan 6'10", and did a number on him.
Watch him. He comes to do a day's work, this fella. No facial emotion, very low type of profile, but he stays with the game all the way. See him standing right there? Keeps the ball alive, throws up a prayer, doesn't drop.
5 rebounds for Ken Ward. Wake Forest with the ball, trailing 16-9, with 9 minutes to go in the first half.
New offensive set. They want 1-4 flat, they call it.
Owens in and out with the jumper. He'll get the rebound. He goes 6'8", and he's big. 6'8" senior. Air ball, can't save it. And here comes Charleston pushing it up, and inside they've got Thaddeous Delaney.
Charles made a tremendous play. Charles Harrison that time saved the basket. Nice lead pass towards the basket. Now watch Charles, all leather.
Charlie Harrison with a good block inside. Dunbar back in the game for the Cougars. He's their only senior starter. So the same 5 who started the ball game for the College of Charleston in there right now. Try to bounce it in the crowd was Harris, didn't work, and now Wake Forest still down by 7.
Got to go to their guards. You got to shoot from outside. We're hammering inside too much.
Childress and Owens averaged 36 points between them.
That's it.
And I've only 1 point before that basket. A 2-point shot by Childress, his first basket of the game, and comes in averaging 20.
It's Busby time. It's time for a golden smile, young man.
Wake Forest on a 7-0 run right now. Let's see how Charleston reacts. Oh, that's how they were. Pretty good reaction by Busby. He's got 8.
Cannot be played one-on-one. Impossible.
You said it at the start, and he just proved it there.
Went to their first little zone here, matchup zone. Kress will throw many faces at you defensively.
They want to get the ball to Trelawney Owens, but there's no way with that zone inside. They have him covered up.
Clock down to 5.
4 seconds, and a long shot by Harrison off the front rim, and here comes Busby again.
Get the ball to the middle of the court.
We called him Busby Berkeley before we're done, the way he's quite a showman. Dunbar for 3. He's got it. Gene Dunbar, second prolific three-point shooter, and once again, Charleston's up by 10. Now 7 minutes remaining in the half.
Need more movement off the ball, the Deacons. Just standing around, watching the guy at the ball.
Tell you, College of Charleston has reacted well to Wake Forest run. Trelawney Owens, and it's stuck through that time by Travis Banks. Banks is in there with Owens as Duncan out of the ball game with 2 fouls, and the 3 guards with BLUCAS, Harrison, and Childress.
After he dunked that one, he headed it like a soccer player.
Well, the World Cup's coming up this summer, Al. Ward double team. Forced that one. Rebound by Banks. Into the hands of Harrison, but Busby gets back in a hurry. Dunbar fights his own man. Harris gets the ball. They have a 3-on-2 now. Harris lost his footing and traveling call. 6:09 remaining in the half. Wake Forest has not had the lead.
Timeout on the floor.
Well, Charleston has never looked back since opening the game with a 16-4 run and a 12-point lead, their biggest. They've outshot Wake Forest. Look at that, 25% for the Deacons, and their top 2 scorers are only 1 for 9 from the field.
Can't get any worse.
It can only get better for Wake. Of course, it can get worse. They can lose the game. That would be worse. So here is Randolph Childress, and he is being ball hawked by Marcus Woods, who's an outstanding defender.
Not much offensively. Picks something off the glass now and then.
Rusty LARUE. There's a name for you. But BLUCAS, the 3rd guard in the set, trying to set some screens. And here is LARUE. Duncan gets the rebound back in the ball game, and a foul by Ward. So Tim Duncan, the 6'10 freshman, and really one of the top young players in the country in the ball game, will go to the line. He has scored 5 points, and the foul is against Ward, and that was his first.
Number 21, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan is from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, and he was found by a former Wake Forest player, Chris King, who's now with Seattle of the NBA, who went on an NBA tour after he was on the all-rookie team, Al, and he found him in the Virgin Islands playing on an outdoor court. He recommended him to Wake Forest, and voila, here he is.
Well, you know, he was a swimmer, and a hurricane ruined the pool. That's how come he started swimming. And his sister was in the Olympics in Seoul, because I was there. She didn't win a medal, but she was there.
I believe you because you were there.
I was there.
Trelawney Owens has come in for Duncan, who goes out of the game having scored 6 points but 7 rebounds for the 6'10 freshman. Offensively, Wake Forest has had the edge over Charleston. Not a surprise there considering their size. Stacey Harris misses the short jumper. Rebound by LARUE of Wake. It's 21-15. Wake Forest coming back now with less than 5.5 to play in the first half.
That 1-2-2 zone is starting to show effects. Nice dish.
LARUE gets it into Owens. 2-man game, and here's LARUE for 3. Rebound taken by Russell Palmer. They're missing a lot of inside shots. Here is Ward at the other end, and he is clobbered by 2 Demon Deacons.
I think they might give that foul to BLUCAS from the backside.
BLUCAS was a high school center. He's an academic All-American, by the way, intending to go to law school, and BLUCAS committing his 2nd foul.
Patrick King coming out 21, Stacey Harris. At the line for the Cougars.
So here at the line is Ken Ward, who is a transfer from UAB, and Gene Bartow's team getting underway in the NCAA tournament as well today. UAB going against George Washington up in Uniondale.
Both teams now are in a 1-on-1. This is a 2-shot foul here for Ken Ward.
2. Rebound by Trelawney Owens. 22-15 in favor of the Cougars of the College of Charleston. They're the darlings coming into this tournament. Everyone's talking about Charleston at-large team. Hasn't played since February 28th. And LARUE hits the shot. Rusty LARUE got good range and a 49% shooter from 3, so he's got the range. You mentioned Woods, not an offensive threat, and that's the way Wake Forest is playing it.
Well, Woods is playing them without the ball. The next time down, we'll show you how he plays defense against them.
Woods scoops it in. Knocked away by Owens. Into the hands of Travis Banks, and now Wake Forest trailing by 5, coming back with less than 4.5 minutes to go in the opening half.
They're in a combination now.
Owens with an air ball. He should not try to shoot the way they're surrounding him with 2 and 3 players.
That was a poor shot selection that far out. That was 15 feet from the basket. When you got a potential All-American next year in Randolph Childress, you got to get him the ball even though he's being shadowed.
And Owens is 0 for 7 from the field, so he's having a lot of trouble getting on track. Ward inside, short, rebound Rusty LARUE, and now Wake Forest again with a chance to narrow the 5-point deficit. And Wake calls a timeout. Well, it's been a long haul for Wake Forest, and Odom is arguing with the official right now. We'll tell you what it's all about.
The refs are right again. There's BLUCAS calling the timeout right there.
And the timeout was called, and Odom then claimed he hadn't called it, but the officials were right on the money.
A coach cannot call timeout. It's illegal.
Marcus Woods has done a terrific job on Childress, hasn't he, in this game?
Yeah, he's playing them without the ball, but they're also using combinations in the back. To watch him play without the ball, he doesn't care where the ball is, he's playing. And after a guy like Childress gets the ball, usually all he can do is pray. So they play him without it, keep a body on him.
And don't forget, Marcus Woods didn't even start the game, came off the bench, but right now he's on the sideline. Dunbar is out there, along with Marion Busby. And up front, it's Ken Ward, Patrick King, and Russell Palmer, 5 defending Wake Forest right now. So Woods is on the sideline, and so now it's up to Russell Palmer to defend Childress.
Childress will blow by Palmer. He's too tall for him.
Childress, Owens, and BLUCAS combined are 1 for 12. 3 starters are 1 for 12 from the field for Wake Forest. Here's
the
Childress.
blow by, I told you.
That's it.
You like
Piece
that
of cake. You had it, man.
Piece of cake.
Well, it took Wake Forest, coach. Yeah, well, you've been there. 4 minutes to score in this game, and they finally have closed to within 3 for the first time since the opening minute of the game. As we wind down to 3 minutes to go. 22-19. No foul. And a block that time by Travis Banks. Did a tremendous job on that block, and Wake Forest playing with a lot more confidence now. Here's Childress again. Foul, and will go, and he can cut the lead to 1.
Man's too big. You got to put one of those smaller men on him. John, you got to make a move. Coach Kress, you'll blow by him for a month.
Second foul on Ward, and they're going to bring back Marcus Woods. It didn't take them long to bring back Woods in the game, Al.
Well, it wasn't that the young man couldn't play defense. Is that he's taken one of the better guards in the country, and he's a point guard that can also dish off. But now he's out of the gate. Look for him to heat up.
Runner-up to Grant Hill as the ACC Player of the Year, Randolph Childress, and the best free throw shooter on the team at 79%. Charlie Harrison will come in the game, replacing Mark BLUCAS for Wake Forest. So the Demon Deacons coming back, and Charleston now with their 19th foul, 1 more, and it'll be automatic 2 shots at the line. Wake Forest was at one point down 12 points, and they have narrowed the lead to 1. College of Charleston, the Cinderellas of this tournament, clinging to a 1-point lead with 2:40 to go in the first half. And they're going to call the offensive foul against College of Charleston. And that'll be on Ward. So Ken Ward, who's looked awfully good, has 3 personal fouls, and that's the 10th team foul on Charleston, so Wake Forest will shoot a pair.
Yep, it's the super bonus, they call it. As the 10th foul, you get 2 shots. It's too soon each half. It should be around the 12th or 13th foul.
That's John Kress, who yesterday had an interview with Tennessee. Might have been the other day, and Roy Williams of Kansas turned down the Tennessee job, left open when Wade Houston left, and now John Kress is a candidate for that job.
Well, he's been 15 years in that beautiful city of Charleston. It is a beautiful city. And okay, here we go, Pat.
He was a walk-on and was an assistant under Louis Carnesecca, but never lost the New York accent, Al, even though he's been down south for a while.
He was under Louis when Louis was in the ABA with the Nets, and also under Louis at St. John's for 4 years.
Wake Forest is now on a 12-1 run right now, and they have their first lead of the ball game with 2:35 to go. It's been a long time coming. Let's see how the 12th-seeded Cougars of Charleston react now. Missed a layup. Palmer. King. He missed a layup. Woods. And Woods is fouled, and they say it's before the shot. And Randolph Childress gets called for the foul. It'll be his second.
I thought it was a good call. I thought just right after the foul that Woods traveled.
I agree.
Let's take a peek at it. We're going to leave you in here for a while.
The next attempt.
Next time off the glass. They're getting off the floor faster than the deep.
Up, there it is.
There's the touch.
Little hop. So here is Marcus Woods. He misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Wake Forest now with their 17th foul. So Charleston had a chance to take the lead, and they didn't. Missing a three-point attempt is LARUE from outside, and it's now going to be Charleston's ball. Wake Forest 9 for 10 from the line when College of Charleston struggling from the stripe.
LARUE. Hey, that's a French name. It means street, doesn't it? Or road or some gosh darn thing. In French.
It's street, you're right.
Hey, they got to, I mean, at that time, they finally got a point lead. They're going to look for a better shot than that.
Patrick King, baseline.
Nothing will drop.
Rebound Owens, and here is Childress ahead of the pack. Watch him go. Childress for Wake Forest with under 2 minutes to go. He's now has 7 points, 8 points. Look at that bulge. 14-1 in the last 4.5 minutes.
Unbelievable. I told Busby from here, he started to trash talk a little bit, talking too soon. Can't play him one-on-one, Harrison.
Busby with the gold tooth, and the shaved head comes back. He's in double figures, the only player in the game with 10 points in the game, and it's 25-24 Wake. Less than a minute and a half. Check with Odom with the play. Childress with the ball.
Watch your 5 count. Almost got a 5 count that time.
Now Harrison. Woods giving him the shot. He's looking to deny. Playing the zone.
But they're playing man-to-man wherever Childress is.
And LARUE hits the three-point basket. Rusty LARUE, who averaged 12 minutes of action, and he has played a lot. Wake Forest 1 for 8 from three-point range.
Lucas, I'd put the ball up soon here so you get 2 possessions to 1.
Busby wild off the glass, and putting it in is Rodney Connor, the freshman. So Wake Forest
don't do that often enough, Dick, where they take the possession. Now they get another time down off the clock.
They shot too quickly. Or that was good if they made it.
That's good for Charleston. That means they get 2 possessions to 1 to Wake Forest.
28-26, so if they stop Wake here, Charleston can be in a position to at least tie it. 10 on the shot clock.
Good switch from top.
LARUE, foul. And he was in three-point land when he was hit. Let's see if they call it that way. No, it's a 2-point shot.
Is first.
Coming up, Pennzoil at the half with Pat O'Brien and Clark Kellogg in our New York studios, and we'll have scores and highlights from today's first-round tournament action. That's coming up on the Pennzoil at the half.
Welcome to the ball, Clark. Remember, you're a player.
Coming in for Wake Forest is Barry Canty, as LARUE misses the first free throw. LARUE has not gone to the line much, believe it or not. That was only the 4th time that Rusty LARUE had gone to the free throw line all year. Makes
he doesn't penetrate. He hits some three-point land.
Right.
Got 13 seconds, plenty of time.
A little pressure in the backcourt. A 3-point lead for Wake Forest after trailing most of this first half. In fact, really virtually all of it. and a blocking foul against Harrison. It'll be 1-1 at the line with Busby shooting.
The foul is on Harrison. His first, team 8.
He likes to talk it up.
Yeah, he trash talks. But that's his style. Hey, don't forget last year, not this season, but last season, he scored 29 points against Georgia Tech in Atlanta when they beat Georgia Tech.
Well, Harrison, of course, playing in his 4th NCAA tournament in a row. Transferred from Georgetown, where he played in the Big Dance and as a freshman and sophomore. Best free throw shooter for Charleston. Busby hits the first one, and he can narrow the lead with 1.4 seconds to 1. Busby looking for his 12th point. Remember, he came in averaging 17. And a 1-point lead. And there it goes. The shot misses, and that'll do it. And that is the end of the first half with the score. Wake Forest 29, Charleston 28. Pat O'Brien and Clark Kellogg will be along with the Pennzoil at the half.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the first round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Visa, State Farm Insurance, and by Menon Speed Stick.
Back at halftime in Lexington, Southeast Region first round action. Wake Forest leads the College of Charleston 29-28. And after having to lead most of that half, Al McGuire, does Charleston now on the outside looking in the rest of this game, you think?
No, what's happening now, at the beginning of the second half, gang, listen up to this. If Charleston, the Cougars, break out, it'll be very difficult for Wake Forest to come back at it. So whoever makes this early run in the second half should end up winning the ball game. Wake Forest got a tremendous amount of help from their bench. Tremendous amount.
So you would think then that the early moments are going to really tell a lot in the second half.
First 3 minutes of the second half, there's 3 times of a game of basketball. First 3 minutes of the game, the last 3 minutes of the game, and the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Ready to play now for the start of the second half. Both teams did not shoot well from the field. Charleston 34%, Wake Forest 32%. Charleston struggled from the free throw line, but the Wake Forest ability to block shots inside really helped them. And there you see Charleston hit 5 of 10 in the first 5 minutes. Remember, they led by 12 7 minutes into the game, and then they struggled shooting-wise in the last 15 minutes.
And off that bench, LARUE and Banks come in and combine for 8 points. 6 for LARUE and 2 for Banks, and that's why I got Wake back in the ball game.
Childress with the ball with 8 points is the leading scorer for Wake Forest. Busby with 12 is the top point man for the Cougars of the College of Charleston. They start out with Harrison, Childress, BLUCAS, Duncan, and Owens. There is Duncan with the turnaround. Doesn't fall. Good play inside by Delaney, keeping the ball inside so that Busby can take over. So it's Busby, Dunbar, Delaney, Harris, and Ward. Wild shot inside on an alley-oop.
Yeah, that was an alley-oop. It was a high pick set on top of the key. There was a switch, and then Busby tried to give it to him on the weak side.
Well, we got a story here because Childress now has picked up his 3rd personal foul. Ken Ward, who's starting the second half for Charleston, also has 3, but the top scorer for Wake Forest has 3 fouls now. Dunbar for 3 is short with it. Rebound inside by Thaddeous Delaney. And Wake Forest comes out of the pack with Harrison. There you see Maryland leading St. Louis by 10. Joe Smith, one of the top freshmen in the country. Inside, Duncan. Could have shot, did not shoot. Coulda, woulda. And a push. And that was STACY Harris with the pushing foul, and the first foul of the second half for Harris, his first of the game.
He was trying to fight through that pick to pick up his man, Mark Lucas.
Wake Forest by 1. Their biggest lead was 4 with a late surge in the half before Charleston came back to narrow it to a single point. Here's a 3-point shot, short by BLUCAS, rebound by Harris. And he is fouled from behind by Harrison. Harrison fouls Harris, and for Harrison, his second.
Foul is on Harrison.
Both teams seem to be under pressure. Both teams know that this is the key time of the game. Right now, not prime time or crunch time. Right now.
Nearly a minute and a half gone by, and no team has scored yet. So they're feeling the pressure. Dunbar off the glass, doesn't fall. And Ward keeping it alive and may have picked up his 4th foul. That would be a big blow to Charleston if Ken Ward, their leading rebounder, and he has picked up his 4th.
He needed a saddle that time, get caught on his back.
So he'll have to come out, and Rodney Connor, the 6'7" freshman out of Orangeburg, South Carolina, will replace Ken Ward. He's got 4.
They don't lose height, but they lose a lot of physical strength.
And a lot of know-how inside. Still no points in the second half. Childress for 3. Short. And Duncan lost it out of bounds, but he was a lot more aggressive, I'd have to say, than Busby and Delaney inside.
Wake Forest as a team has to start talking to each other. You got to communicate. You can't do anything in life without communicating. Work, love, athletic events, anything.
Delaney, the big man, outside, now getting position. Here's Delaney. Good bounce pass from Busby. Great move inside around Duncan. That was a beauty. Delaney with 7 now. And it's Charleston again by 1. Wake Forest, by the way, is only 1 for 9 from 3-point range. Childress finds Trelawney Owens. Duncan over the top, and it's still Wake Forest ball.
Watch the lane here with the head fakes. That head and shoulder fake, I call it a mambo fake. Timmy didn't go for it, but his feet didn't react defensively. That happens a lot with freshmen.
He's a mambo king. Childress, baseline, hard off the glass. Owens, by the way, is 0 for 8. He's really struggling for Wake Forest. Delaney with the quick touch and basket. And Charleston, Al pointed it out. They've gotten off to the good start. They're leading by 3. Harrison knifes his way in. Beautiful Harrison against 2 defenders.
That was a big basket. The Cougars are beating them down the court. When the ball's in this man's hands, you're in trouble.
Harrison has 6, Childress has 8. Still no player in double figures for Wake Forest. It's a 1-point game, Charleston leading, and they're going to call the foul on Mark BLUCAS of Wake Forest.
Watch Delaney here beating his opponent down the floor. Now all of a sudden he is inside position, and obviously that's his curtains. Harrison.
Here's Harrison. What a move against 2 defenders. And he's not an offensive threat normally.
Well, he has to pick up the slack because Randolph is not getting it done so far.
Rusty LaRue, that is, has replaced Mark BLUCAS, who goes out with 3 personal fouls. And Travis Banks, Scooter Banks, has played a good game off the bench, back in there for Wake Forest. So 2 of the 3 guards for Wake have 3 fouls. Here's Connor. Lost it. BLUCAS and Childress each with 3 fouls. Childress remains in the game, and BLUCAS went to the bench.
As we said earlier, Connor's just not physical enough. That time when he got hit, he just collapsed.
And it's been a while since he's played in real action. But now since the 4th game of the year.
Wasn't it a hand injury there?
Yeah, he suffered a severed tendon in his left thumb, and he happens to be a left-handed shooter. Not the right hand for him. So Charleston leading by 1.
They're running game here, trying to get Childress free.
Trelawney Owens, who has not hit a field goal, has it knocked away. Great play by Connor into the hands of Dunbar. Trelawney Owens is struggling. He's a senior. And there is Connor with a very soft 10-foot jump shot.
They are rising to the occasion. The Cougars, they're hanging in there. Now, whoever breaks out.
Childress guarded by Dunbar. Remember, Woods off the bench is the best defender against him. He put it up against 3 defenders and scored. They're going to need Childress to have a big game, and he is in double figures for the first time of any Wake Forest player.
They're just flat. They're not sweating out there. There's no hollering. There's no diving for the ball.
You can't be overconfident against the Cinderella.
Well, they're not overconfident. It's just that it seems to be some uncertainty.
Dunbar for 3. So Dunbar now with his second 3-point basket. Dunbar and Busby each have 2. And the College of Charleston, the beautiful seaport community in South Carolina. What a place to live, Al, after you hang them up, huh?
Well, Dunbar hit for 3 then. He's the 5th-year senior. He's the anchor on the team.
Saw Charleston with 4 3-point baskets. Trelawney Owens, he is having his problems. It's been a long day, but Wake Forest trailing 37-33.
Scores around the country, another NCAA action at the half. It's Maryland 35, St. Louis 30.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the first round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Oldsmobile, AT&T, and by Midas.
Here's a story in Lexington in this half of the Southeast region. The winner of this game between Wake Forest and Charleston will face the survivor of Kansas and Tennessee Chattanooga coming up later. And tonight a doubleheader, Purdue in Central Florida, Providence in Alabama. And that'll round out the first round action here in Lexington. And the second round play will be Saturday here. Tipped away by Harris, still in the hands of LARUE. He's been effective from outside. Connor into the hands of Delaney. Boy, Connor has good timing inside out.
What I would do, I'd go inside with Delaney, get that next foul on him, and get him in Pine City.
Delaney is 6'8", Connor is 6'7", and they both can get inside effectively. Connor goes up without the ball. Trelawney, no, that was Banks who made the defensive play, and he throws the ball away. He led Harrison a little too much.
Had no loop to that ball. A little bit too strong. He knows he made a bad pass. He's just telling Harris, I'm sorry. Bad pass. Harrison is that transfer from Georgetown.
20 turnovers, and he appeared in the NCAA championships twice under John Thompson, and now twice more since he's been with Dave Odom and Wake Forest. Here is Stacey Harris. On the other end is Delaney. And good defense by Banks. Delaney again, and Banks fouls him. Banks has done a good job off the bench, but you have to credit Thaddeous Delaney, who's just a freshman from Columbia, South Carolina, with his relentless play for Banks' first foul.
Dad stayed with it. Where Banks made the mistake that time, he lowered his arm and created a chopping type foul. If he kept his arm up in the air, he would have blocked the shot.
Remember, Delaney, since he's become a starter, Charleston is 15-0. They have not lost since Thad Delaney moved into the starting lineup.
And he's a physical specimen.
Missed the free throw. He has scored 9 points, but has 8 rebounds. Not a good free throw shooter at 57%. There's the Wake Forest Brain Trust, led by Dave Odom. 6 of 11 from the free throw line for the College of Charleston. Coming into the game is Russell Palmer, number 25, and Tim Duncan, the freshman center, is back in, and Rodney Connor giving a good account of himself coming back after that early season injury. Banks goes down. Banks has given Wake Forest a lot here off the bench. 38-33 in favor of Charleston. More than 5 minutes gone by second half. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire here at Rupp Arena.
That's the first time all day any type of pressure up court, but that was token pressure.
Woods in the game, guarding Childress, lost his footing, but Duncan with the slam. 8 points for Tim Duncan.
Key to this, obviously, is the pass. Randolph goes around him, commits. Nice, solid bounce pass to Timmy Duncan. All she wrote.
Guard substitutions for both teams. You look at Childress, who's trying to get on track. Mark BLUCAS in for Wake Forest. Dean Dunbar checks in for Charleston. With the ball, Marion Busby. Averaging 17 a game, Stacey Harris. Trelawney Owens blocks out, gets the rebound. Childress now with Dunbar on him. Giving up the dribble. Well, they can't get it inside, Wake Forest. Knocked away that time by Harris. It's still Wake ball. Even though they're undersized, the Cougars are doing a fine job against the bigger Wake Forest team inside.
Well, Wake's going a 3-guard offense, but they're not taking advantage of the 3 guards. They're hammering them in almost every time.
Not a pretty sequence, and a steal by Marion Busby. All the way in for Marion Busby, 5'11" junior, and the Charleston leads by 5 now.
The Demon Deacons have to answer with a basket. Here's that light pressure up court.
Duncan helped him bring it up.
Wake Forest wants to turn around and set up a half-court offense. Didn't go for the goal.
Well, Charleston's 5 points. You mentioned a 10-point lead would loom large. They got 5 of them right now. Wake Forest could be hard-pressed now. Here's a 3-point shot short by LARUE. Wake still has it. LARUE will go again for 3. Boy, Wake Forest has not been able to hit threes today. Duncan off the glass. Wake Forest is 1 for 12 from 3-point range, and the lead is 3 for Charleston.
And they're not sharp. They are tight. Charleston is not tight. It's the favorite. Normally the favorite does tighten up as the game goes on more than the underdog.
If you meet John Kress and his personality, you'd be surprised if they were tight, right? Inside, good block by Duncan, and that is his 5th block against Thaddeous Delaney. Duncan playing with 2 fouls, picked him up early. And here he is, making his presence felt, one of the top young players in the nation and the leading shot blocker in the ACC this year.
Childress that time is showing what a point guard he is, that he's as much an asset in addition than he is a scoring.
3-point shot by Marion Busby is 3rd of the game. 5 3-point baskets by the backcourt tandem of Busby and Dunbar for Charleston.
Busby gives a little chatter, gums a little bit to Childress.
Trapping defense by Charleston. That's their trademark, to trap. Childress, and they're calling the offensive foul against Childress. Getting position was STACY Harris, and that is the 4th foul against the leading scorer and one of the top players in the ACC, Randolph Childress of Wake Forest.
A terrific
big story here with Wake Star. 4 fouls. And Odom sees some trouble.
STACY Harris, a freshman, plays defense the way you should, with your feet. Watch this now. See the feet? Get him in position. An obvious charge on a potential All-American, plus his 4th foul. Here's another angle. No question about the call. Give the credit to the feet of STACY Harris.
And as you look at the foul trouble, Childress remains in the game with 4 personal fouls. So Dave Odom keeps him in the ball game. Here's Dunbar off the glass. And you know they're going to try to get Childress to foul out of the game. Dunbar, who's averaging 9 a game, now with 8 in the contest. And it's 45-39 with 9 minutes going by in the second half.
Demon Deacons have to go to a zone next time down to protect Childress.
Al, you said that if Charleston came out and opened up a lead, it would be very tough for Wake to come back.
Not big enough a lead, Jess. Only 6, and this could cut it to half.
Childress misses the rebound. Patrick King fought it away from Trelawney Owens, and you can sense a shift of the momentum back to the Cougars now.
Here's a level of offense. 7, 11, 15 and out. You get over 7 points, that's the first level offensively.
Delaney misses inside, and it was the body of Duncan who did it again. He has played a very quiet but effective game for Wake Forest. Childress leaves it for LARUE. Duncan walks. Traveling called against Tim Duncan. So Wake Forest, it does not look like a team that beat Duke twice and Carolina once, and a lot of people think can advance again to the regional semis.
Dave Olben doesn't think he walked. It was a hairline call. I don't think the ball was out of his hand when he moved his pivot foot.
6-point lead for Charleston. Here is Thaddeous Delaney, blocked by Duncan. So Duncan now has 6 block shots, and at the other great play by Busby against Harrison.
Harrison didn't put his body in between the man and the ball.
And Busby loves the crowd. He loves the attention. He is Busby Berkeley.
He is giving that golden smile now.
Crowd is really getting on the Charleston bandwagon. Missing outside is Patrick King, and Trelawney Owens the rebound. Charleston leading by 6.
Wake Forest is extremely fortunate that isn't a 10-point lead.
Harrison out to LARUE. He buries it. That's just the second 3-point basket of the game for Wake Forest.
That was major, Dick. That was a major trifecta, a major cannon shot.
And LaRue's got both of them, Al.
Big time. This could be a wire job game, a photo.
Winding down to 9 minutes remaining in the second half. Patrick King. Now in hands of Marion Busby. Busby scored 17. That's more than his season's average. Can't bank it in. Rebound Trelawney Owens. Taken back by Busby.
Busby has one of the better crossover dribbles I've ever watched in the college scene this year.
He was the Conference Player of the Year in the Trans-America Athletic Conference and showing why today in the first round. Here he is posting up. And it's knocked away by Delaney.
For College of Charleston, checking in 21, STACY Harris along with number 25, Russell Connor.
Here's a nice play by Delaney here, which stops the automatic basket, no body contact. And here's the key play. Up he goes, Busby, for a crowd thriller.
And Charleston bringing in STACY Harris, Marcus Woods, and Rodney Connor. And so John Kress trying to take advantage of the fact that Wake Forest is not a deep club by going into his bench continually in this game. Get it inside to Duncan. He made a good play over Connor.
That's their soft spot. They can't defend the pivot down low.
Duncan now with 14 points. He has 10 boards and 6 blocked shots. Where would they be without him? Harris has it blocked again by Duncan. That's 7 blocks. And Connor gets the basket and draws the foul.
Connor made the right play. Don't let the ball release. Go for the dunk, which creates it. You can't block the shot. Watch this now. Timmy's up there blocking shots. There's one. He fly swats away. Now watch this next one. He doesn't shoot it. He dunks it, which creates a possible three-point play the old-fashioned way. They earned it.
His third.
And the foul is going to be on Duncan, his third personal foul. And here is Rodney Connor, pencil thin, a freshman who's seeing his first action since the 4th game of the season. And let's see. And we have a lane violation apparently called against Wake Forest, so Connor's going to get another chance. It was Harrison who stepped in too soon, Al.
Early commitment.
It is 47-44, still anyone's contest with under 8 minutes to go. But the College of Charleston has had the lead throughout most of this game. A 4-point lead. They got to be proud of what they've accomplished so far.
Good.
You are watching the NCAA Basketball Championship on CBS.
Well, a story for Charleston, Marion Busby with 17 points, but Randolph Childress has only 10 points, 4 personal fouls. The other story for Wake Forest, Trelawney Owens, who came in averaging 16 points a game, is 0 for 8 from the field and only 3 points. They counted on more for him. Tim Duncan has given him the scoring with 14 points to lead Wake Forest, but what a story developing here with just under 8 minutes to go in the game.
Oldham has no choice but to play Childress with the 4 fouls. They're more worried about him taking a charge and foul than a defensive foul. Woods is on.
Right. Childress gets 2.
It's time for a Super All-American, if he will be next year, is to take the game in his hands, in his bitty hands, if Wake's going to win.
Woods with the ball. Now Connor working against Duncan. Nearly had it. Rebound by Duncan. 12 rebounds by the freshman Tim Duncan. Wake Forest looking to tie it up at least. And the possession arrow will favor Charleston. Great hustle that time by Harris and Busby. John Kress has him coached well.
Unbelievable hustle by number 21, Harris. Watch 21 come from the blind side. That's a mousetrap, to use a full words from the NFL.
Build a better mousetrap. Nearly 7 minutes to go. Connecticut is open up after a halftime tie with Ryder. They got a little scare early. Here is Harris missing the jumper and the rebound inside by Randolph Childress. They can tie it up. He scored their last basket and got the rebound.
Keep that ball in your hand, kick, and go around baseline and out the other side for 3. Move, move.
Trelawney Owens.
Great O by the Cougars.
LARUE. Woods has it.
Busby, it's your turn. They need something. Let's see if we can get it done.
Now, what do you think right now at this game with 6.5 to play?
No call. It's a no call. I'd like to make a prediction, but this is absolutely a no call.
Harris Lucas goes inside to Delaney. Great feed back to Harris. What a terrific inside pass from Thaddeous Delaney to Harris. A couple of freshmen working in combo there, and Charleston up by 4. Two freshmen who are playing like anything but out here today for the Cougars. See how Wake responds. Duncan inside, triple team. Got to go another way. Three-point shot. It's good. And that time it was Charlie Harrison. His first three-pointer of the game, 9 points in all.
Could be a real white knuckler. Could be OT.
Harrison staying and missing the shot is Busby, Trelawney Owens, and Wake Forest trying to take a lead here in the second half, and Woods couldn't stop himself.
That was a tomahawk that time. That was a chop.
Boy, he went up high that time.
No, Woods just comes right across and says, hey, you're in front of me, I got to foul you intentionally.
Around the neck. And right now, flexing his left hand is Childress. There it is, Al.
That's only the third team foul on the Cougars.
Wake Forest has 6, so their next foul will result in 1-1. And there you see working on that left wrist is Randolph Childress, who's playing with 4 personal fouls. Came into the game averaging 20 points and has only 12. Remember, he came up big against Duke, scoring 24 and 28 points in the games against the Blue Devils this year.
If he commits his 5th foul, I'm saying it's going to be offensive charging rather than defense.
5:15 to go. BLUCAS. Go to Duncan. Lost it. Never had control. Charleston by 1. That's the 15th turnover by the Demon Deacons of Winston-Salem.
Looking to take a few ticks off the clock. Might look too soon to start that.
Here's Ward. He's been playing a lot with 4 fouls right now. Very quietly been in the game with 4.
He won't shoot from out. This man will.
Triple team. Makes the extra pass to Delaney. Thaddeous Delaney. We call him Thad in Al's book, and he's got 12 points. Lucas trying to find Duncan or Trelawney Owens. Owens has not been a factor in this game for Wake Forest. Cross court. He had a shot, passed it up at the baseline. Harrison nails a 3.
He feels it. He's in that zone now.
He's got 12 points, coming in averaging 8.6, and Wake Forest has tied the game. That is our first tie of the contest as we wind down to 4 minutes. Here is Busby, gets the foul, but not the hoop, and he'll shoot a pair. That is the 7th team foul against Wake Forest.
Watch Delaney inside here. Watch him get positions. Got nice. He seals off there inside. Pretty tough to stop that body with inside position.
3 personals on Charlie Harrison, and now Wake Forest with 7. And Busby will go to the line. 77% free throw shooter is Busby, who has scored 17 points. He has made both of his free throws today.
He's a big game player.
Whenever they needed a hoop, this team has gone to Busby, and he's delivered. Conference Player of the Year, only 5'11", but plays a lot bigger.
He likes showtime. Reach that shot. Let's see a smile. Let's see that gold tooth. Let's see him get in there. Come on, Marion. Give us that gold tooth once.
Well, if he makes the free throw, maybe he'll give us a little grin.
Come on. Come on, big guy. There it is.
You got it. 2 free throws for Busby, and Charleston leads by a bucket with 4:04 to go. Well, this game really has come down to a big battle. Charleston was the Cinderella. They're the darlings, and they've given Wake Forest all they can handle. Wake led by 1 at the half, and now they're going to really have the big pressure on the rest of the way.
Harrison got away with a simple palm there.
Lucas with a 3, so that's the first points of the game for Mark Lucas, the senior from Girard, Pennsylvania. Keep in mind, Charleston has only 3 team fouls. Harris pulls up. Big jumper for Harris. That's a big one for STACY.
Lucas a little slow moving up.
Wake Forest had the lead by 1, and seesaw it goes with Charleston up by 1. There's the time remaining. 3:15 to go in the second half.
Don't forget the Cougars, College of Charleston, give 3 fouls before they go to the 1-on-1, so they can be more aggressive.
And a reach-in foul by Dunbar. That'll be the 4th team foul against Charleston. Not a shooting situation.
Good thinking by the 5th-year senior.
I'm glad you didn't make a prediction, Al McGuire. You're right, coming out of the wire. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire back in Lexington. Plenty of timeouts remaining. Charleston has 2 fouls to give. Wake already in the penalty, and Wake has the possession arrow. This is a game in which the true Cinderella, they really are a Cinderella team with the longest winning streak in the country, 16 games, and they're up by 1.
A hot hand has been Harrison.
Wake's last 3 field goals have been 3-pointers. Now make it 4. 4 baskets have been all 3-pointers, and that has helped them. BLUCAS with 2 in a row, and Wake leads by a bucket.
Now it's gut check time with BLUCAS. He won't tighten up.
He has 2 baskets, 6 points, blocked by Duncan into the hands of Harrison as Dunbar tried to drive. 8 blocks by Duncan today. He has been a giant inside for Wake Forest. They have the ball and a 2-point lead.
That block was equivalent to the other 7.
Right.
Eat a little clock here. Score will force Cougars to take a timeout.
Childress playing with 4 fouls and has stayed in the game all the way. Owens, he hits a big basket, and after struggling, Wake has struggled, but a lot of those who haven't done it early are doing it big time now. His first basket of the game in 9 tries. 60-56, and it matches Wake Forest's biggest lead established in the first half.
Coach Kress says play.
Stacey Harris looking inside for Ward. Here's Busby, the igniter. He goes for 3 himself, off the mark. Ward is double-teamed, and Trelawney Owens gets a big rebound, and that's his 10th. All of a sudden, Wake Forest is awakened.
Now they're going to extend the defense, College of Charleston, and look for an inside chippy layup off one of the inside men. They're extending the defense now.
Dunbar guarding Childress, and a foul, and that will not be a shooting situation. Charleston now has 1 foul to give. Foul against Dunbar is his 4th of the game.
I don't want fouls.
John Kress yelling, "I don't want fouls," to Marcus Woods, and he'll come in the game, and he'll be defending Randolph Childress. And a timeout.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest calls the timeout. (60-56). Wake Forest in front with less than a minute and a half remaining. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire. Wake Forest has 1 timeout left. Charleston has 1 foul to give. And a 4-point lead for Wake, and they've got the ball.
Wake Forest has to work the clock and kick it down low in the post position. That makes it an even good foul. Now everything from now on is 1 and 1. What Charleston has to do, listen up out there, they got to be ready to pressure full court, and they got to keep the ball in Busby's hands. It is Busby's game now to win or lose.
That was John Kress, the College of Charleston head coach. Wake Forest 1 for 13 from 3-point range in the first 30 minutes of the game, but in the last 8 minutes, they have blistered from downtown to the tune of 5 for 6, including 4 in a row, and that's why Wake Forest has overcome Charleston's lead most of the game. There's the shooting percentage. Marion Busby, the junior 5'11" guard, has 19 points. Childress has played a long way with 4 fouls, and he has 12.
Duncan's a 73-point foul shooter, but in this situation, they fouled right. When in doubt, foul the freshman. Always foul the freshman.
Duncan now with 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 block shots. He is only a freshman. He was the all-time shot block leader in Wake Forest history and led the ACC. From St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, has come up big in this first round.
He's only 17 years of age. You can tell by his face he won't be 18 to April. He's still playing with Tonka toys.
6-point lead, and it's the... No. 6-point lead is the biggest of the game for Wake Forest as Charleston calls a timeout. College of Charleston.
one timeout left. Everyone is in the 1-1. Charleston took its last lead with 3:27 to go, but the Cougars have not scored since, while Wake Forest has run off 7 points in a row, and John Press trying to get his team back in the game with 1:18 to go.
One of the big things with Wake Forest now is not to give them a three-point play, make it 3 possessions. That Charleston has to get it 3 times to at least force an overtime.
Trying to make the steal was Childress, who, by the way, has played the last 10 minutes with 4 personal fouls. So he has stayed in the game with a depth defense, and he has scored 12. Leading scorer Tim Duncan for Wake with 14.
Plenty of time left for Charleston, but they need a 3-pointer.
Busby gets the basket. He's got 21 points, and immediately a timeout called by Charleston. 58-62, 4-point lead for Wake Forest with 1:01 remaining. Each team has 1 timeout left. Team fouls are even. Wake would get the possession arrow in their favor. A 4-point lead for Wake Forest over Charleston. And Charleston has really put on a show today against Wake, giving them all they can handle. And Dave Odom, the ACC Coach of the Year, trying to see if his team can hold on down the stretch.
His hard man-to-man pressure up court. Don't let too many ticks off the clock.
And you can't foul. There's no one you can go to foul because they're all good free throw shooters of the 5 out there for Wake Forest. That foul is against Marcus Woods, and that is his 4th, and it'll be 1-1 for Wake Forest.
They fouled the wrong man. This guy's usually ice. He's usually money.
But there's no right man. When you really look at the team, they're all in the 72 to 78 range. Maryland defeating St. Louis in advancing. UConn over Rider. So far a good day for the Big East and the ACC.
Well, congratulations to Spoonhour. He's Coach of the Year. And I also thought that Gary Williams was in the hunt for Coach of the Year at Maryland. Outstanding job. Big freshman in Joe Smith.
79% free throw shooter, and perfect today is Childress. I think a big story for Wake Forest, besides hitting the threes late, Al, has been the fact that Childress has stayed in the game, played some 12 minutes with 4 personal fouls, and has still steadied his team.
Harrison hit 2 big threes. Again, that was important now. Don't give him the 3-point shot.
Wake has scored the last 9 points in this game, and we have under a minute to play. Here is Busby for 3, misses. Ward knocks it down, and it's going to be Wake Forest ball, and the sand is sifting out of the hourglass for the Cougars of College of Charleston, who came here with the longest winning streak in the country, 16, and that is about to come to an end.
I thought that she found a slipper there, and the coach was ready to take her, but at the end, Wake stood up, and it's not over yet, but it's almost over. Now it's over. He makes this. Nope, didn't make
the
it.
layup.
Overlay.
Randolph Childress misses the layup, and coming back, Busby
pulls up for 3. Good, mature play.
Rebound inside by Russell Palmer. He can't do it. Tough time for Charleston to have a lid on the basket, and a foul is called against Charleston, and Wake Forest with 34 seconds and a 6-point lead, about to move into the second round, but it was a tough, grueling advance, to say the least.
Let me tell you, they didn't lose anything, Charleston. The country knows about them. If they think it was hard to schedule last year, when you see them, they try to schedule next year with this team coming back, nobody's going to play them outside the conference.
Remember, this is a team that beat Alabama by 22, and Alabama plays Providence later in the 4th game of this region here in Lexington. They beat Penn State of the Big Ten. Penn State beat Purdue this year, and they beat UNC Charlotte.
Yeah, they won the first 2 games in their own Christmas tournament.
Here is Harrison. You pointed out how good Harrison has been, giving them points that he doesn't normally give Wake Forest.
And normally doesn't take that pressure shot. That's Randolph's territory.
Great free throw shooting, 16 of 18 from the line for Wake Forest. That also played a big role in what's going to be their victory coming up soon.
Wake has to feel good about it because they were not on top of their game today.
No.
Emotionally.
Fortunate to get through.
Yes.
Dunbar with a runner. Rebound, Trelawney Owens, and he's fouled with 20.7 on the clock. Nothing to be ashamed of for these guys. And it's still 2 more years before they're eligible for a berth because they have not been in the Division I play for that long.
Yep. You know what? With coach here, John Kirk, he has a better winning percentage than Dean Smith at North Carolina if you take all his NIA games.
And why not? I mean, they're games, right?
Yes, their games. They start off 0-0.
Dean Dunbar, the senior, has played his last game for the Cougars. He has fouled out, scoring 8 points in the game. Dean Dunbar fouled out for the College of Charleston. And by the way, that's such a beautiful place. Pat Riley brings the New York Knicks of the NBA down there to train before each season and before the playoffs.
And before the playoffs, they go back down. I don't know because it's a beautiful place. I think because it's a quiet place. He wants people to listen to him.
Wake Forest has scored the last 13 points of this game to run away from Charleston.
Oh, the score doesn't tell
Duncan with 16 points, Busby with 21, the high scorers in the game. And Wake Forest will advance to the second round of this NCAA tournament, beating the College of Charleston, who sees its 16-game winning streak end. But boy, do they give Wake a run for their money.
Next game will begin in approximately 30 minutes.
And the final score, Wake Forest 68 and Charleston 58, as Charleston went scoreless the last 3:27. And so Wake Forest will move into the second round. Will play the winner of the Kansas-Tennessee-Chattanooga game that's coming up next. And the Chevrolet players of the game are Marion Busby from the College of Charleston and Tim Duncan from Wake Forest. So for Al McGuire, this is Dick Stockton. And you'll see Pat O'Brien in our New York studios when we return. Wake Forest moves into the second round here in Lexington. So long, everybody.